My name is Helen Goodman. I'm the Foundation's Chief Operating Officer, and I just couldn't be more excited to see all of you here today. What an incredible turnout. Welcome to all of you, and a special welcome to those of you who have not been here before, and to those of you who have been here every year for 24 years. Lou. It's a special night, and one that has taken about 6 months to plan. It's been incredible. So many ideas, so many photos, so much information, so much input. Where to start and where to stop. Under the talented leadership of Barry Brensinger, who has chaired our committee as what we call the chief creative guy, he was the one that helped us design what you hear and see in this back mural and the way the room is set up and to give it the right feel. His skill in doing that and to also help this committee stay on task and focused and have a great time has just been wonderful. We've had staff working hard. Our Master of Ceremonies, Harold Janeway, whom you'll meet in just a few minutes, has just been a team that has worked like crazy to create a different kind of annual meeting. You're probably getting a sense of that. One that befits Lou's retirement, as he really will leave eventually, and as a celebration of the foundation. As you might have noticed, we have an overflow crowd, 800 and more in this room, 150 in the room behind us. Those folks are viewing on the screens what you will be seeing today, and we are videotaping the entire event, so they shouldn't miss a thing. What can you expect between now and 6:30? A very short business meeting. By design, we'll hit the highlights of the things that we want you to know about, but the similarity with other annual meetings ends there. Tonight has been designed with a huge amount of respect and affection and appreciation for Lou, coupled with a healthy dash of irreverence. We'll be a tad organic, planned chaos, actually, at Lou's request. We want people to sing if they would like, sway with the music, clap your hands, just go for it. Around 6:30, we'll move out of this room into the foyer and the ballroom for drinks and food and lots of social capital time. If you haven't had a chance to write a quick note to Lou, there will be a tribute table where you can do so, because from tonight, we will be creating a special tribute book as a gift to Lou later this summer. I have one request before I turn the meeting over to the next speaker, and that is to please turn off your cell phones. So thank you very much for being with us this evening. I would like to introduce Jim Varnum, the chair of our board of directors, to kick off the business meeting. Thank you.
Wow, what a night, and we've just started. I'm really looking forward to our celebration of Lou and the Foundation's accomplishments that all of us have worked on and supported over the past 24 years under Lou's leadership. Tonight, we will have a brief business meeting. In fact, Helen was very polite. I heard words earlier that I was advised strongly to conduct the shortest business meeting in the history of the Foundation. So I hope that's what we'll see. In a few minutes, you will hear some of our extraordinary board members and volunteer leaders with highlights of this past year. And as you will see and hear, the state of the Foundation is solid as we continue to navigate the tough economic times and prepare into the transition to new leadership. In the interest of time, we will only touch on some of the key business topics tonight, but I encourage you at your leisure to go through the annual report and to view our website to learn more about our philanthropy, about our programs, and the civic leadership efforts. As chair of the Foundation Board and the Search Committee, I want you to know that we have been hard at work to find and appoint a successor to Lou. We take this responsibility very seriously, and we are approaching it with great care. I am grateful for the energy, the experience, the talent, and the dedication that the search committee has brought to this process. Our goal is to introduce our new president to you in the very near future. In the meantime, we are delighted that Lou has graciously agreed to remain as president for a little longer to allow us to complete this critically important work. Now I'd like to thank some of the people that make this foundation work all possible. And I will identify several groups and ask them to stand and please remain standing, and then all of us hold applause until the groups have been introduced. First, the Foundation's statewide Board of Directors, if they would stand, please. Then all members of the Foundation's 8 regional advisory boards. Their names are listed on pages 10 and 11 of this year's annual report. The senior leadership team, and all of the staff of the Foundation, the people that are the heart and soul of our Foundation. Thank you very much. And now I am very pleased to introduce Jesse Devitt, who has served the Foundation well as a statewide board member and our treasurer during this economically challenging past year. And he will give us the treasurer's report and highlights of our recent audit. Jesse?
Jim? Thank you, Jim. Let's talk some numbers. They're good. First of all, let me report on behalf of the Audit Committee that we did retain Baker, Newman & Noyes to conduct a full-scope audit of our 2009 financial statements that was completed earlier this year, actually in March. And their conclusion was that financial statements present fairly the financial position of the Foundation, that no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies in internal controls were noted during the audit. That may seem standard language, but it's really important to have a clean audit. That information, the preliminary draft of those, is actually up on our nhcf.org website. As more investment managers file the rest of their reports, we'll complete and finalize those statements this summer. Speaking of draft statements up on our nhcf.org website, there's also a copy of the 990, which is our IRS filing as a nonprofit organization here in the country, and you can find that as well. Similarly, that will also be filed later this summer as investment managers file their final reports. So let me talk now about the numbers. At the end of year 2009, total assets were approximately $425 million. That is an increase of 15% from 1 year ago. Over the last 5 years, that's an increase of 32%. Our contributions were strong last year despite the overall economic challenges. They numbered approximately $30 million during the year 2009, and over the last 5 years, our contributions total $183 million. On the distribution side of the formula, we distributed approximately $28 million in the calendar year 2009, and again, over the last 5 years, that number is approximately $152 million. That will give you some scope of our numbers. A couple of points, though, to make from a treasurer's position. And by the way, the finances are on page 6 and 7 of your annual report. We're not immune from the effects of the downturn, as Jim mentioned. And so I want to highlight a couple of things for you. One is that with the financial leadership team in place, the fiscal discipline and culture in our organization, and also, quite frankly, the personal sacrifice of our staff members, we were able to reduce our operating expenses during this challenging time. From 2008 to 2009, we brought those down. We're going to keep those steady through 2010, and we'll go from there. But one other point to make for you, as many of you are aware, the Foundation averages distributions for grants and operations based on the previous 5 years' financial performance. So that means that smoothing formula works to the advantage during a challenging time like we had in 2008, so that the impact and swings around our grants and scholarships are less dramatic. The other side of that, though, is that distributions will likely decline as some of the quarters in 2008 work their way through our 20-quarter smoothing system. So in light of that, we continue to be vigilant in our financial operations and in our grant operations as well. So there's actually more perspective on this in the annual report at the front. The letter from Jim and Lou is important.